Hey guys, how you doing? This is Paul from Breaking Chains. The name of today's video is anything that you want in life, you have to work for. And it doesn't matter what the addiction is, whether it's pornography, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's addiction to shoes, whether it's an addiction to people, bad relationships. God, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of women, a lot of men out there that are addicted to bad relationships. It doesn't matter what it is that you're addicted to or that you want out of your life, you have to work for it. Anything in life, whether it's good or bad, you have to work for it in order for it to reach its full potential. Like drug addiction. An addict will wake up in the morning and the first thought will be drugs. How am I going to get it? How much can I get? Where am I going to get the money for it? Who can I beg, borrow, rob, and steal from to get it? We don't care who we hurt. We don't care the kids we hurt. We don't care about the families. It's not that we don't love them. We just don't. Our drug addiction is first and foremost. So we put all our work into it all day long, and then as soon as we get it, we put more work into it, into getting high. And we're already, while we're getting high, trying to think of when we're going to get, where we can get our next bag, where we can get the money for our next bag. Got to pull a quick job. Got to find something that we can do. So we're constantly, 24 hours a day, putting work into our addiction. And the problem that people have with all types of recovery, even bad relationships or pornography or anything like that, is that they won't put any work into healing from it or into their recovery. Regardless of what the recovery is from, they won't put any work into the recovery. Man, I've been guilty of that too myself. Even in recovery from drugs, I've had addictions from other things, but were unwilling to put any work into it because I was so afraid that everybody would find out that I was addicted to porn or whatever it was. Well, that's what it was, but that I was unwilling to seek help from other people because I was ashamed. And so when you don't put work into recovery, regardless of what it is, you're going to go back to that addiction, and that addiction's only going to get worse than it was before. You're going to pick up right where you left off, and you're going to work hard for it, regardless of the guilt, regardless of the shame, regardless of all that. You're going to put work into that addiction again. So recovery is no different. When you wake up in the morning, regardless of what the addiction is, you have got to be thinking about your recovery. You've got to be thinking about your recovery 24 hours a day, like you did your drugs. What does that look like? Well, I'm in the process right now. I'm hoping to have it out by February. I'm in the process of I've already designed a recovery planner for addicts, regardless of what the addiction is. And then I'm writing a book that's almost done called Recovery Planning that goes along with the recovery planner. And I talk about a lot of the things that is needed to move away from, and the things that we need to move towards when it comes to recovery planning and staying busy in our recovery, because that's where addicts fail, is they think they got it. Man, I got this. I don't need Bible studies. I don't need men's groups. I don't need AA. I don't need NA. I don't need Celebrate Recovery. I don't need to meet with people. I don't need anything. I've got this. And the truth is that once you think you've got it, you already lost it. I can't tell you how many people I've told that to, and they think, well, I'm different than everybody else. I got this thing. I don't need to work as hard as everybody else because I got it. And I already know that they've already lost it. And those people always end up relapsing. I've been working very hard on some personal issues with things that I've gone through, that I've been going through. And I think that, in our lives, we always pick up alternate addictions, whether they're small or big or whatever they are. And we just have to work through those. And I use what has got me off methamphetamines and alcohol in that aspect. And being able to come forward and talk to people and ask people for help is one of the biggest tools. I've talked about that before in my previous videos. But the key to recovery, as I talk about in my book, that hopefully I'm hoping to get it out by February, Recovery Planning, the key is work. You've got to design a recovery plan that works for you. And in this book, I show you how to design a recovery plan. This is going to be great. This book is going to be great. The Recovery Planner and the Recovery Planning book is going to be great for rehabs, outpatient programs, a peer support specialist. If you're a peer support specialist, it's going to be unbelievable for you to be able to design a plan with that person. It's going to be their plan. Also talk about treatment planning from outpatient programs that you can implement in that recovery plan, which is really cool because you can combine what you're doing on an inpatient program or an outpatient program with your counselor, and you can actually implement that in your recovery plan. A treatment plan and a recovery plan are a little bit different from each other, and I kind of talk about that in the book as well. But if you have any questions, you can reach me on Breaking Chains, Hope for Addicts and Their Families on Facebook. Just shoot me a message, bottom right hand side of the cover photo. I'd love to answer your questions. You can also pick up my book, Breaking Chains, Hope for Addicts and Their Families, found on Amazon Books. It was the #1 bestseller. It's written for addicts and their families and people in recovery, so it's a very diverse book. You'll also find my other books there as well. So work 24 hours a day it takes in your recovery, even if it's just sitting down, reading a book, going to school, all kinds of stuff. So I can't wait till this book, Recovery Planning, comes out, and the Recovery Planner, which is designed with it, which is a really cool planner. I can't wait till it comes out because you guys are going to really love that. I got a few other books that are in the works. This is Paul from Breaking Chains saying peace. Pray for the addict who still suffers.